Hi guys, it's SkintBoot here, and today what I'm going to be bringing you guys is another No Man's Sky video. And in today's video, what I'm going to be talking about is actually how Hello Games, the developers of No Man's Sky, can make the game it was sold to be. Now, it's no secret that No Man's Sky isn't the game that was shown off at, say, E3 or even before that in like 2013, 2014. It's kind of become infamous for just being straight up falsely advertised and a lot of the features just not being in the game. And as a result of that, there is kind of like a negative stigma around liking No Man's Sky and supporting the devs. But in today's video, I'm just going to be talking about some of the most requested features that could make itself into No Man's Sky to make the game maybe not the game that was promised, but a hell of a lot closer to what was advertised. And for the first time in this channel's history, I'm actually going to be using comments as inspiration for the points. I've taken a single comment because I could only find one because of the context of this video, and I'm going to be using that to build on my own ideas. So if you want to have the chance to perhaps see your comment featured somewhere down the line in some upcoming No Man's Sky videos, then please do let me know down below. Say something you like about the game, something you don't like, maybe something you'd add, or just your general thoughts on the game to get a chance at being featured in one of the videos. Anyway, I've spoken enough. Let us get straight into the video. So first and foremost, we have a fix instead of an actual addition to the game, but that is relating to the draw distance. So one of the most common problems that people have with No Man's Sky is the popping, or in the game's case, the ugly fading animation. Pretty much, the draw distance on No Man's Sky is shit. And in case you don't know what draw distance is, it's pretty much the level of detail. If you're standing on like an elevated platform, or maybe even something just like a hill on a planet, as you're looking out across this planet, you can see, say, mountains or like ravines, but you can't see things like grass or maybe even trees at some point. And this is fair enough. Most games do this, as if it loaded in everything in immense detail, as in you could see a butterfly from 300 miles away, your game would quite simply not run. It would be a pretty shitty FPS, especially for a game that's on console, PC, Master Race. No Man's Sky gets it worse though, because for some reason the draw distance is just shit. Even on PC, it's absolutely dreadful. So I propose that Hello Games don't add this universal fix as such for everyone, because I think that would require too much effort and time, but instead they should just include a level of detail slider to the PC versions of the game. Most games have it, and those that have a pretty powerful computer do benefit from it, because if they have the ability to see more stuff, they're going to want to have that on. So just adding in this slider will be a great addition, and will just prevent those little mountains and stuff from fading in. It just makes the game look ugly as hell. That's pretty much what I'm saying. And related to this, I also have a little gripe to do with the planets themselves, how they appear from outer space. Someone commented on the Pathfinder update video by the name of GameHawk, and he commented something which I 100% agree with. He states, "The one thing I would change in No Man's Sky is when you look at a planet and you see a bunch of structures on the planet, such as huge craters or huge cracks of lava, but when you get closer, the structures disappear and a bunch of little craters and cracks take its place. This problem also happens with large chunks of land turning into small islands. Am I crazy, or does this bother anyone else?" And someone replied to this comment with something which I also agree with, saying, "Me too. From afar, it sometimes seems like planets look like Earth, but when I go down there, the atmosphere is green or orange and there are like little tiny islands." So pretty much what these comments are saying is that the planets from out of space, when you're seeing them, when you're in your ship, don't look like what they actually are. So you might see a planet that has like loads of lava on it, as GameHawk suggests. There might be like this big ass lava river going down it. You fly towards that, and as you go down, that just pops out and we have something else. We have like this boring bit of land. And this was something which was actually shown off in pre-release footage, where the game would actually render the planet in real time. It wouldn't be like this 2D image which then disappears to make way for the actual structure of the planet. It was seen many a times where the ship in the trailer would fly down to, say, like a little ravine, and then as he's nearing the actual surface of the planet, it's there, and it's the size it was seen from out of space. So I do think that this is something which needs to be fixed, because I hate it. I hate seeing a planet, landing on it, and it looks nothing like how it's seen from out of space. Somewhere down the line, it would be a great addition to the game. So thank you, GameHawk, and your lovely friend for the comment. Really does mean a lot. Next up, we have something relating to the AI, more specifically to do with that, the animals. So I propose that the animals in No Man's Sky need a major overhaul. At this point in time, pretty much all animals just look the same. They're like this weird Frankenstein kind of model where like they have different set of legs but then the same head, or a different torso and the same legs, something like that. It's like they have 5 different models for body parts, and then they just kind of swap around and merge with each other to make these disgusting looking creatures. I can watch a video of, say, someone on their own planet which is, you know, millions of miles away from mine, and the animals just look exactly the same to the ones I've seen on my planet. It just removes the whole purpose of cataloging animals, because it feels like someone has seen this before. Also, relating to AI, they need to improve the animals' paths, so how they walk around, perhaps even make them do more intelligent stuff like eat plants or even eat animals, like Sean Murray suggested previously, and allow them to just interact with each other. Maybe they start, you know, fighting each other, or they start playing with each other, anything, you know, just to make animals that bit more interesting, because at the moment they're just like little sort of static models that just sort of float around the map and aimlessly do shit, and then one will occasionally come and fight you, and that's it. They're actually pointless to have. They are literally purposeless, and they do need to overhaul them 100%. Also, to do with this, alien NPCs which are found on space stations can't just be glued in place. Make them wander planets. That means that you could be walking around the planet and see an NPC walking around, say, collecting resources or flying his ship and landing on planets instead of them only landing on spaceships. Just things to make the game feel more alive, so you don't feel like the only person that can walk in the game, because everything else just feels like it's glued in place or is being controlled by a bit of string. Third thing which I want to talk about is to do with factions. Now, the devs just need to make the factions more meaningful. To some extent, the Pathfinder update did actually revamp factions. They now serve a bit more of a purpose, and things like your relationship status does actually mean stuff. Like now, for example, there are almost kind of like Fallout style speech options, where if you have a higher standing with them, you can get like certain items which wouldn't be available otherwise, or you can even do like bribery, things like that. You know, that does improve it quite a lot. You know, I'm very grateful that that does exist. However, there needs to be more than just that. And the one thing which everyone wants, most definitely, is conflict, war. We want them to fight each other. We want 2 rivaled factions, or factions that don't like each other, to engage in battle, to engage in these massive battles where all of their spaceships come together to fight each other, and there's like bits of debris flying around, the ships blowing up and crash landing on planets. It would be so sick. Pretty much just like how it was shown in the E3 trailer, where Sean Murray was like, oh yeah, here we are at the boundary of 2 warring factions, whatever, they're bum-licking each other. Just something like that, so you can join in and you can fight. Then being friends with some faction actually means something. You feel like you're a part of it and you're helping out. And then once they've actually revamped factions, they can turn this into a more progressive story, and actually maybe even like a side story on the go. You know, who knows? The sky is the limit, pun intended. I just want factions to be really good. And finally, we reach the inevitable, which is multiplayer. Now, multiplayer is a bit of a difficult one for No Man's Sky, because in some people's eyes, it would actually ruin the game, or it would be pointless, or they would do it wrong, something like that. There are a lot of issues that comes with multiplayer, and I can understand that. Some people, when you say multiplayer, just think of PvP. No, that is not the multiplayer we want. That would be the worst thing, and would actually make no sense. All I want from multiplayer in No Man's Sky is the ability to see someone else. That's all. I just want to see another player. I just want to be flying around in my spaceship and I see another player fly past. He doesn't even say hello. He doesn't stop. He doesn't attack me. He flies off and he goes and does his own thing. That's all I want to see. Just the thought that you could perhaps land on this planet and maybe see someone off in the distance mining or cataloguing animals is so exciting. The thought of that blows my mind. The thought that one day I could run into someone that's on my planet and is going around stealing my resources and you can interact with them in Dark Souls fashion, like Sean Murray said. I just want that. I want the ability to see other players. That is all I want, and I think at some point in time we will see it through the immense amount of multiplayer-like features added in recently. I don't think it's impossible or unlikely that we will see multiplayer in the future. So that is the end of the video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. As always, if you did enjoy, then please do feel free to leave a like on the video. If you guys could also subscribe to MZK, then that'd be absolutely fantastic. And as always, I will see you guys on my next video. This is SkintBoot, signing out.